My name is Melissa Carrick. Welcome back to the second episode of Ad Libitum Rest, short series based on experience of overcoming injury as a musician. In the first episode, we talked about common injuries among musicians, and if you missed it and you want to watch it, the link is in the comments below. This episode will focus on recognizing signs that can indicate a potential chronic condition/injury. It will also give explanation of different types of pain and how to know when to react if you feel any pain or any discomfort when you play. I can't tell you how many times I caught myself just playing through pain and discomfort, and I was just ignoring it like it's not a big deal. Now, after the injury, this is something that changed tremendously.
Pain is really our body and our brain's alarm system against real or perceived threat. So this is to say that not all pain equals tissue damage, right? It really acts as a warning sign that we might be exceeding our tissue capacity or tolerance, or there might be some compromise. So it typically is a message to ourselves to make some sort of adjustment and kind of decide whether that threat is real or just a perception.
Yeah, there's such a big difference between slight discomfort because of something that's unfamiliar and like pain.
So things that I tell my friends and family members and people who haven't established a professional relationship with me, and then even my clients and patients as well. I tell them to look out for sharp pain, pain that hits you and makes you stop doing what you're doing right then and there. Pain that worsens with the activity, movement, or position that you're in. Pain that radiates is another one to look out for. So pain that might have started in one area, but then it refers out towards your extremities or back towards your spine. Pain that lingers or, lasts even with a break from the activity or even going away from the activity for days and weeks, returning to it, and then it kind of comes back, right? Now, again, these aren't all pains that mean you've damaged something, you tore something, or something has degenerated or begin to waste away. It just typically means that you're not in homeostasis or you're not in a good equilibrium.
It's better to be careful. It's better to be preventative. It's better to go in, have it checked out. If it, something's weaker than before, strengthen it and then just move on.
I have always been very grateful that I got injured as early as I got injured because I was in high school. I was a freshman. It didn't matter, and, people who, either ignore injury through college or whatever, and then finally it catches up to them when they have a job, that is so hard. There's never a good time to be injured, right? When I got injured, it was I finally got serious about music and now I have to stop. What's going on? But the sooner you stop, the better.
I don't know, something that yoga has taught me is that just that moment where you pause, relax, and just notice how you feel. It's so important because it can be the difference between some little nerve thing releasing just with an increased awareness of the whole body and it really spiraling out of control.
My name is Alexander Cohen, and I am principal timpanist with the Calgary Philharmonic. I've also recently completed a Feldenkrais practitioner training program in Boston. When I was in college, I was snowboarding and I had a fall on my wrist. Fast forward, actually, I guess it was a year or two later, I started having some low back pain when I was playing. I'm not sure that it's related, but I now am more thinking in a model that everything's related.
When we have any motions, there's a compensatory muscles that are assisting the main muscle group. Meaning in this case, just doing this motion up and down, there are other muscles that are involved in assisting with that motion. So it's very important. You might have great flexibility with, let's say, hand muscles here, but if these muscles are stiff, it's going to affect the way you make the motion. It's going to affect the way you move, and it's going to restrict your motions.
If you're doing something weird with your feet, if you have your feet in a weird position, or your hip, or you're leaning to one side, it absolutely travels up the body and affects your shoulders and your hands. So, yeah, I think yoga has also shown a light on the fact that everything is interconnected, and we have to be thinking about the whole body, the whole person, the whole musician, because nothing exists in a vacuum.
It just shows you how intelligent our bodies are.
If straining to play something causes you pain, you have to find an easier way to do it.
Athletes and people with very high demand performance demands tend to be on the spectrum where they live and function with pain that lasts for days and weeks and months and years, pain that lasts even when they supplement with over-the-counter pharmaceuticals or injections.
So it was really frustrating to kind of know that it was something that had been happening over and over and over, and there was no easy fix to it.
It's sort of like treating the symptom and not the disease, like in Western medicine, you just pop a pill and you feel better, but you're not actually like looking at the source of the pain or the discomfort or the illness.
So it's almost like kicking the can down the road. So you kick the can, but you're still walking towards that can. So at the end of the day, sooner or later, you're going to have to come to that can. You're not going to be able to kick it down the road. So the same thing with the medication. Yeah, it kind of masks the symptom. So basically, it's you're just postponing the nightmare that is going to come sooner or later.
I mean, I think we all take our bodies for granted until something happens. My grandfather was a pediatrician, and he used to say all the time, if you don't have your health, you have nothing.
As difficult as the physical part of my recovery process was, I think the mental part was much harder.
It's not a straight line towards recovery, not at all.
What's the worst case scenario? If you can imagine yourself in a situation where you don't have the career path you thought you'd have, or you dreamed of having, or you wanted to have, if you can imagine that and then imagine happiness in that other path, in any other path, if you can imagine the worst case scenario being okay, it opens up a lot of freedom to think, you know what? If I could cope with the worst case scenario, I can cope with anything that's better than that.
And I was noticing like very quickly that I was able to, not detach emotionally, but really control my frustration or anger or sadness. I was slowly beginning to cultivate this space where I could choose, how to react to what I was feeling.